Hold on tight, everyone. I've got an exclusive bombshell. Can you picture discovering in the morning that your husband is not just a cheater, but also perhaps a criminal mastermind? Ernest Strawberry, Shirley's husband, has now been charged with 5 new offenses that could potentially result in a life sentence in prison. Hello, everyone. I'm Leah, and today we talk about the shocking turn of events in Shirley Strawberry's life. Roswell informed us today when we checked for an update that there will be numerous upcoming warrants in this case. And just when you thought the saga could not get any more intense, Ernest Strawberry's husband is now facing not one, not two, but 5 new charges. You read that right, and here's the kicker. It seems that his own mistress played a significant role in his downfall. Yep, she handed him over to the police, starting a series of events that may result in him spending the rest of his days behind bars. So sit back and brace yourselves as I unravel this gripping story of betrayal, deception, and justice in response to the government's claims that Mr. Ernest Williams is facing pending charges. New information has become available. Ernest was caught on the verge of breaking into an unidentified person's home with intentions that suggested the potential infliction of harm for his criminal activities when recent court proceedings revealed his admission of guilt to possessing an illegal semi-automatic weapon, a serious criminal offense. The court awarded Ernest a sentence of 2 years in prison. In addition to this sentence, a further blow came as 4 more serious charges were pressed against him. Among these are an aggravated battery charge and an offense associated with human trafficking. The case continues to evolve, with an expected influx of legal warrants, according to information from Roswell. An estimated 15 or more warrants could be served against Ernest before the 13th of this month, indicating the gravity of his offenses. Before the 13th, there's going to be about 15 plus more warrants coming his direction, serious felonies. In a surprising turn of events, it came to light that Miss Shirley Strawberry, a long-standing presenter on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, is the spouse of the deeply troubled Ernest. The revelation has sent shockwaves through the community with public sentiment, suggesting a mix of disbelief and concern for Shirley's welfare. Fans and concerned individuals have been voicing their hopes that Strawberry will reconsider her decision to stand by her husband in the face of his criminal actions. Shirley Strawberry, a well-known celebrity from the Steve Harvey Morning Show, finds herself crazy in a controversial connection with a guy, and an increasing tide of advice leads towards her ending the relationship with the man, also known as Slickback, for her own protection. Ernest is dealing with a slew of heinous accusations. Ernest has been accused of everything from theft and conspiracy to running an illegal credit repair business. His reputation has also been tarnished by allegations that he was in possession of illegal guns and participated in child pornography. Ernest was already serving time for many violations when he was hit with 5 additional counts, which increased the severity of his felonious behavior. The charges will be presented in chronological sequence beginning on January 8, 2019. That same day, a second charge surfaced alleging Ernest's involvement in a $1 million scam, adding a layer of financial crime to his already sordid criminal record, which included a $1 million fraud scheme and many victims. On that day, Ernest was first accused of a horrifying act involving minor abuse, sending shudders through the community. As if this wasn't enough, a third indictment revealed a more heinous component of his misdeeds. This was all the result of a claimed growth in coaching company that operated in part on social media. Ernest is facing a particularly serious accusation that is aggravated, which implies a severity that will result in harsher legal consequences. Ernest was charged with human trafficking after being accused of making unwanted physical contact with a person's private parts without that person's consent. A conviction for such a crime might result in a life sentence under Georgia law. Alternately, the sentence might include a mandatory jail term of at least 25 years and life on probation. When fans look into Ernest's background, they are horrified to learn that at least two of the victims tied to his crimes are none other than his own children. Ernest is the man involved in scandal with Shirley Strawberry of the Steve Harvey Morning Show. A daughter and a son, the list of fatalities also includes Shirley Strawberry's daughter and her grandkids, which is even more disturbing, presenting Ernest as a person of concern who has been prevented from contacting his family for their protection because he is thought to be violent. Ernest was arrested in May 2022 for having a silenced weapon in his hands despite having been convicted of a felony, which would undoubtedly result in hefty punishments. This incident adds to the already complicated story. On May 5, 2022, the government presented its discovery, which forms the basis of the case's details. Ernest didn't go down without a fight. The circumstances surrounding his arrest are interesting. On-duty officers from the Atlanta Police Department spotted Ernest entering a stolen car and followed him to an apartment complex. They saw him moving around the complex and ordered him to hit the Jeep. Ernest first resisted the arrest, claiming it was made without a warrant, but in the end, he decided to enter a guilty plea. On June 6, 2023, he pled guilty and was given a 24-month jail term. It appears Ernest is prepared to serve any impending charges in Fulton County in conjunction with his firearms violation because the government recommended that this sentence run concurrently with any potential future charges Ernest would face there. A detective charges and Irma's jail term signal a turning point in his life that is not for the best. Each one heavier than the previous hints that he would not experience freedom anytime soon. In this complex tale, a central person is under close scrutiny. People have expressed surprise at Shirley Strawberry's commitment to her partner despite the increasing evidence against him. She even offered him a place to stay, a request that was rightfully refused. In another audacious move, when Ernest was out on bail, she attempted to assist him dodge the police with her planned plan. This is one case that has garnered particular notice. We have a call where he and his wife were discussing staying at her boss's house, but I'm going to omit all the names here as Mr. Lewis did as well. Hideout is the residence of none other than her business partner Steve Harvey. The fans can't help but wonder about Shirley's silence, which seems all the more unusual in light of the unfolding events. She has been noticeably distant and has maintained a stony silence as if the ordeal doesn't concern her in the least. But there is evidence suggesting that she not only covered up her husband's illicit activities, but was also possibly involved and complicit. Applause. Right now, a man enters the room. The scandal currently rocking their personal lives makes it ironic that their show is focused on relationship advice, helping others form strong bonds. Their professional reputations, including Steve Harvey's, are undoubtedly suffering because they've been doling out advice to others, only for such a controversy to erupt in their own backyards. I'll admit it wasn't hilarious, but there's more to the story than just the crimes. It was discovered that Ernest was unfaithful to Shirley from phone calls intercepted during the hearing. It was also discovered that Ernest had a mistress in Florida, apart from Melody Scratching, who is listed as the victim. We considered this person to be a flight risk because we have jail calls where he talks about visiting his girlfriend in Florida. It has been suggested that the mistress may be Erica Kane, who has strong connections and lives in Florida. Allegedly, she and Ernest were involved in an affair. They would sell services to business people under the guise of coaches, and when the money arrived in their accounts, they would disappear. Police claim that everything into thin air was a fraud after clients paid high fees for their services, but received nothing in return. Intriguingly, Erica King has been freed from jail, hinting at the possibility of her cooperation with the authorities. Is it possible that she exchanged Ernest's freedom for her own, given the mounting evidence against him? The ongoing saga has sparked a flood of fan reactions, each offering a different viewpoint. Their opinions, many of which are unfiltered and raw, offer an intriguing glimpse into the general sentiments of the public. "It doesn't get any worse than this," says one reader, "and I wouldn't work with anyone who hurts children." They express their disgust and loathing in no uncertain terms. This is utterly repulsive. Another admirer investigates Shirley's behavior further, casting doubt on her morality in light of her choices. Shirley's true self is shown by the fact that she is standing with him and not backing away in the face of these accusations. These statements reveal a general lack of trust in Shirley's resolve to support Ernest despite the growing evidence against him in the fans' eyes. Shirley's unwavering commitment doesn't endear her to the audience. Rather, it throws a shadow over her persona. However, another commentator offers a more fair assessment by weighing both sides of the argument.